I get a lot of questions in the comments, and sometimes it's just way too much to type or to answer in one sitting. Also, some of these questions can lead to great learning moments for the whole family, like now. So if you want to make this thing a weekly bit, hit me up with your questions down below. I will happily make a video each week to answer them if you put them there. So let's start out with this comment from my Yeti video a while back, which will lead us into the second comment. But first, it says, if you own a Blue Yeti, I'm sure you can figure out the knobs. That's not what you came here for, so don't bother watching this video. Instead, I can tell you from experience that you need a desk mat because your desk is reverbing the sound and you need a few acoustic foam panels on surfaces in front of you. That's it. This will take away the hollow, empty room sound of your voice. Thank you, S-Con, for your comment, though I may have to kind of pick it apart if you don't mind. First off, yes, desk pads can work wonders. And yes, they can help with reflections, but they're better at reducing the bumps on your desk. That said, if you are at a big enough table or desk, I guess, your voice can reflect off it and just become one more reflection point in your room. But as we get to the second part of your comment, you're just a bit off. The wall in front of you actually isn't the culprit for your reverby room. In fact, it's directly behind you that is generally the worst contributor to that issue. You see, on a cardioid polar pattern, most sounds coming at the mic from the front will get weeded out. So if they're coming from here, they'll get weeded out by the actual polar pattern itself. But once it bounces back at you from the rear, well, those sounds are very much unfiltered. Also, don't neglect the sidewalls. The sound coming out of your mouth doesn't follow a straight path, so it's wise to treat every single surface in your recording area, even if it's just a bit. Now, I did do a video up here if you're interested. There's a lot of ways you can treat your room for free even, so check it out if you're curious. Also, and I think this is the part that annoys me the most about the Blue Yeti fan club, this is all microphones. In fact, I don't even complain at all in that video about the sensitivity of the Yeti, so not exactly sure. So perhaps, S-Con, you might want to watch the whole thing, though you did seem to get stuck on me using the knobs. Did it make you feel uncomfortable? Anyhow, that's a good time to move over to the subject of this video with the question from the Come Up Promo official. They said, great video. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Quick question. How do you make your mics and audio sound so good in your videos? I've got the quality of my 2 channels down visually, but I'm trying to improve my audio. I currently have the MV7 along with the SR1 mic that came with my Evo 4 bundle. Thanks again in advance. Thanks for your question, and this was one of those that fell under the subject of too much to type. So here's the heartbreaking answer. I don't do anything to the audio. I just gain match the sources and put it out. However, I don't believe this is the issue for you. So here's a bit of a checklist you can go over when you're recording audio and see if any of these are off or not being attended to. First thing you have to look at is your interface and whether or not it has enough clean gain. You have the Evo 4, that shouldn't be an issue. Next up is your room. Is it reverberant? Is it enough to cloud your audio? Well, you either have to treat the room or mess it up. That can actually help as well. Basically, try not to record in a room with all bare walls. That alone can be the toughest part, but I can say that even the cheap foam things you can get from Amazon do actually help, at least a bit. Or if you want to go full ham, you can build your own sound panels like I did for pennies on the dollar compared to the pro versions. I'm going to be updating that video sometime soon, not my best filmmaking there. Next up, you want to watch your mic placement. And I know a lot of people try to get that mic as far away from their face for videos, but you really can't. Each microphone has an operating range for best results, but if I were to generalize it, anything more than 6 inches is a fool's errand. Any mic like the ones you mentioned will not perform well outside of that range. From there, you also don't want to speak directly into the microphone as it can lead to a bunch of plosives. The best bet is at about a 45-degree angle and pointed at the corner of your mouth. Yes, you do lose a bit of the detail on the microphone by doing this, but the only other option is a pop filter. Choose wisely. And lastly, unless you're live, if you are recording, you really shouldn't be going for the loudest possible output. Keep that gain low and don't overstretch the preamps in your interface. You can always gain up in post and the overall audio will be better. Trust me. Now, outside of those tips, there is something else you can do. While all the audio on my channel is mostly clean and not produced, you can actually spruce it up a bit with some post-processing. Some light EQ and light compression can help your voice stand out in the mix if you have music. Though, and I will caution this, don't overdo it. Both Dylan and I are working on a post-production how-to, but it's not the easiest thing to get through in a video. But for now, try one of the EQ presets for voice if you have them, and tweak to your own voice and microphone. Now, this isn't an easy process, as you have to train your ears to hear all of those frequencies, but it is a great place to start. It's the same thing with compression too. Try the presets and tweak as needed. Now, I hope this helps. And anyone else, if you want to ask a question, hit me up down below. If I get enough, we can make this a weekly thing, and both Dylan and I are available to answer, so you can draw from years of experience here. Thanks for watching.